If you've been following the channel for a little while, or if you're new here, I'll just flat out tell you I am a huge fan of Demon Slayer. And that last episode, and of course, I've never read the manga, I'm sorry, I always forget how to pronounce it, but I don't know what's going to happen in the conclusion of the story. But that last anime show episode that came out got me so hyped up for something that's coming out, like, beyond belief. This is one of the things that I'm looking forward to most out of anything that I've ever watched. It's like right up there with Attack on Titan. I don't even know if might be more so than Breaking Bad, to be honest with you, although that's like a really tough one too. Regardless, I cannot wait for the finale of Demon Slayer. Today I wanted to sit down and give my official prediction for what's going to happen. I ask one thing of you guys, okay? I know that the ending is out there. I do not want to know it. If I happen to call something, I don't want to know it. Just please, with all of my heart, do not spoil this for me, because this show means so much to me. It's one of my favorite shows I've ever watched, so taking a huge risk talking about it and looking through the comments. I would love to talk about it down below. Hear me out, and I'd love to have you guys over here again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. One more thing before we get into it. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm kind of deep breathing right now. I apologize for that. Still dealing with some late season allergies over here, which is driving me crazy. I cannot wait for fall and winter. Can't come soon enough. So, of course, what I didn't know was this was going to be split into 3 movies. I thought it was just going to be one movie that was the finale, and that's incredibly exciting for me because, of course, like, the more Demon Slayer content, like, the more Demon Slayer episodes we get pushed out or movies that we get pushed out, I am so here for. So I think it's going to be broken down I think it's going to be broken down into 3 parts. I think the first part, we are going to just experience the Infinity Castle, kind of solve the mysteries around it. And I don't think that with everything that we've seen from Demon Slayer so far, I don't think that this is going to be one big, grand, happy ending for everybody. So I think that we're going to spend a lot of the time just having the demons hunt everybody, because we saw all of the Slayers in training, or the Hashira in training, whatever you want to call them, like the kind of nobodies of the story. Everybody got brought into that Infinity Castle. Super cool name for it, by the way, but everybody got brought in. All the Hashira, everybody. And of course, Muzan, what he wanted to say was, everybody's going to be slain before sunrise. I don't know, and this is tough because I might as well just talk about it now. I don't know, because Muzan got left on that one platform, and he's kind of still left stationary. I would imagine at some point he's going to get out of it, but the Infinity Castle seems like it's either in another dimension or underground. Doesn't really matter. What happens when the sun comes up? By the looks of the Infinity Castle, it doesn't matter when sunrise actually comes, unless that's just how it works. It's like the demon's weakness, but then again, that just could be where they're hiding out, and that's why that's how they live. They just live in that Infinity Castle. So maybe I'm looking a little bit too much into the idea of all slay before sunrise, and that was just something like cool for the bad guy to say. I don't know if there's anything to look into that, but of course, I believe, and that's what was kind of alluded to, is the way they're going to get Muzan is by taking him out of the Infinity Castle and bringing him to the sun. But I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Like I said, I think we are going to spend the vast majority of the beginning part watching everybody be hunted down, watching everybody die, and then having all of those, like, really long stories for the people ending. Like, I believe most of the Hashira are going to kick it. The only reason, and the only ones that I could see really living, is a little bit of a gut feeling over here, but the Mist Hashira, I feel like that guy is just going to live. Maybe we built a little bit more of a connection with him, but then again, that could just lead to a more brutal death if we see him die. I think he's safe, and I don't know about the Water Hashira, the guy, and the name's escaping me, and my apologies, guys. The guy at the very beginning who was kind of mentoring and saving Tanjiro a couple times. I think it'd be really cool, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but I think it'd be really cool if we had a moment where Tanjiro actually ended up saving him, switching things up, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. I just am... This show isn't exactly a happy ending thing for everybody. So I think that the vast majority of the Demon Slayers, and I think that the vast majority of the Hashira are going to kick it. If not all of them. Because if they were to live and then everybody was going to take on Muzan in itself, I think that would be a little bit of a lackluster ending in my opinion. But even then, like, I'm sure with the way this thing's written, I'm sure they could just make it work. I'm sure, like, whatever they decide to present is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And from what I've heard, whatever we're thinking about, it's just going to completely exceed our expectations, which I fully believe and fully support, because this show has done nothing but exceed my expectations every single time there's some sort of fight scene. So the other thing that I really do believe is going to happen is, again, name's escaping me at the moment, Tanjiro has to have that final face-off, and I think that's going to happen like maybe in the second movie. He's going to have one big, giant, long battle with the Hashira, or with the demon who killed the Flame Hashira in that other movie with the train arc. That was left so undone. Tanjiro having him run away, screaming, "You coward, I'll get you," things like that. They have to have a major conclusion there. I think that's going to be one of the biggest battles that we see, and I think that Tanjiro is finally going to get his revenge on this guy, except I don't know if we're going to see a little bit of a change in Tanjiro. That is difficult to predict because he seems to have a new fire in his eyes. He seems to be completely done with everything, done with the suffering. We've seen him like snap and lose it just a little bit more. So I would love to see him, and I'm starting to turn this into a little bit of a wish list video, which I'm planning on making, by the way, because we still have a lot of time before this comes out, right? But it's going to be prediction. I think no matter what, they're going to have one big epic conclusion, and Tanjiro is going to end up finishing that demon off. I think it's going to be more of a one-on-one thing, and he's going to kind of exceed, like, he's going to take the place of the Flame Hashira. Of course, he's stronger now. He's ready. We still haven't seen this new version of Tanjiro in battle, and he's probably even stronger or on par with the rest of the Hashira at this point. So that, along with having a battle against all of the rest of the upper ranks that are still there, I think they're going to get the hang, and throughout the first and second movie, I think they're going to take down all of them, with also losing some Hashira along the way, but regardless, they're all going to be gone except for Muzan and the one that I don't recall if it was an instrument or whatever that demon was using, the one that goes, and then they fall through like that trapdoor, right? It's going to be them two left. Muzan's going to be stuck in place because he still has the girl with whatever it was that was inside of him. And I think this is where we're actually going to bring Nezuko into the scene, because there's no chance that she is just hiding away. Everything's okay, right? We're leaving her out of this. There's absolutely not. I do not believe that's going to happen for a second. She's going to suffer somehow, or we're going to figure out that she's been suffering on land. They found her a long time ago. Regardless, I think that they're going to make their way, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Yosuke, is that his name? Regardless, the boar hair guy. Sorry. Every single time I watch an anime show, the names just escape me. Like, I keep calling them like the Mist Hashira, the Fire Hashira, the Water Hashira, the Love Hashira. Like, I remember all of that, but for some reason, these names are so difficult to remember. Like right now, literally, I'm watching Code Geass, and the only thing I can remember is C2 and Lelouch. And I'm like almost done the first season. It's ridiculous. I don't know if that's a common thing to go through. So I know I hope it just doesn't ruin your viewing experience at all. But anyways, as I was saying, I think it's going to conclude with those three kind of coming up against Muzan. And then while Muzan still can't move and they're kind of battling, they're kind of getting the upper hand, right? They're going to drag him above ground. They're going to drag him through the portal, or however they need to get him up to the surface for him to disintegrate in the sun. And I believe that's when we're going to hear the ding thing, and then they're going to threaten with Nezuko. Something's happening to her. I don't really know. And of course, Tanjiro is just going to give up completely. And then Muzan's going to be forced to be let free. And that's when we're going to see our epic battle. Something else that I actually do believe is going to happen throughout this battle is, I believe that Zenitsu and the Boarhead guy are going to kind of take a back seat. I don't know if they're going to get pummeled by Muzan or something like that, but I think that it's going to end up with just Tanjiro and Muzan kind of colliding in that sense. I have a difficult time seeing Nezuko being the one to take him down, although I could see them just having her come out of nowhere, but that would be a little bit unsatisfying for me. I'm trying to think of like what would actually happen. I think she's going to be hurt. I think Tanjiro's going to like unlock another level. He's going to use some like new breathing technique. Regardless, I also think at some point he's going to utilize beast breathing, because he already learned how to do the thunder breathing, and maybe he'll be able to do everybody else's breathing. Maybe he'll have this like epic moment where he goes love breathing, mist breathing, water breathing all at the same time, and that's kind of how he gets the upper hand on Muzan. But to say how it concludes, because of course, like somehow, and there's no way it's a bad ending and the demons win. There's no way that's happening, right? So at some point, Tanjiro is going to get him to the surface. But then again, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, this show has done nothing but just deceive me at every single turn. So maybe he'll find a way to survive in the sun, or maybe they can't get to the sun, and maybe they'll need to figure out a way to actually decapitate him. But even then, if you decapitate him, it doesn't work. They need to figure out some way to make him into a human, or I have a hard time seeing it be that simple. You need to drag him out in the sun. Because this show has done nothing but make me think one thing, just for it to not work and something horrible to happen, maybe they're going to drag him into the sun, and then they're going to realize it's not going to work. But I don't know what the alternative would be. How do you beat this guy? I feel like if I were to sit here and take a look, like even if I had a picture before watching the show of what every single demon looked like, and you said, okay, the general rule is you cut these guys' heads off, and that's how you beat them. I would have never been able to, like, even just watching a couple of the demons and like, okay, well, one of them severed his own head and turned into spider webs and was carrying his own head. Like, how are you supposed to think of that? Like, it's creative, it's genius, and that's one of the reasons why I love the show, but it's impossible, in my opinion, to predict how Muzan's actually going to fall to the ground and how Muzan's actually going to get defeated in the end. Because he has to be defeated. There's no way it turns like Muzan was just cursed this whole time. He was just a little boy or something like that. I think that it's going to be the good finally conquers the evil. I don't think there's too much to look into there. I just don't think it's going to be as simple as dragging him out into the sun. But I offer you no explanation on how that could be. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything. I can't think of anything. So the only thing that I'm very, very sure of is Tanjiro is going to have a one-on-one face-off with Muzan. Nezuko's going to threaten him. That's how he gets free. And Tanjiro's also going to have a conclusion with that guy that beat the Fire Hashira. And most people here are going to die. Those are my very, very hard predictions. And again, I ask you guys with all of my heart to please, please just not spoil this for me. This show means so much to me. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you want to continue hearing my thoughts on Demon Slayer, I have a video on Season 4 and Season 3. Unfortunately, not the rest of them because I didn't have this channel back then. But regardless, hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.